hope you had enjoyed your weekend. Thank you for clicking on this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, share this video. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, and it would help us greatly if you basically share this video, most importantly to everyone you know. Well, you know, we have been discussing all these releases that are coming soon on streaming and physical media, and I've always said buy physical media. That's the most important thing, you know, help support physical media. I mean, you have a lot that's coming out now. I mean, we've already heard Transformers the movies getting a 4K release. We just heard recently Star Trek, the original movies, they're getting a 4K release, and the director's cut of Star Trek the motion picture. And there's various other films that are coming out within the next year or so. And I mean, this is a good sign on, you know, that companies, certain companies are spending money to make a better quality DVD, Blu-ray, however you want to, you know, whatever format you want to watch this in. And like I said, I prefer physical media on that. Hopefully they spent enough money to create a better, because there have been some DVDs and Blu-rays out there that are horrible. They're horribly remastered. I mean, one that comes to mention is the Buffy the Vampire box set. That needs a full top to bottom restoration, because what they did there was like the biggest error ever. And the other ones are like the Dragon Ball Z, which we discussed on another episode, that, you know, Funimations is going to be doing a Robotech box set, and how horrible the Dragon Ball Z box set was on there. The quality, the look, the color, you know, it just horrendous. I mean, you had a great box set. Was it the Dragon Ball? It was in yellow. Why not just touch that up and put that back out again? But no, they're not going to do that, because basically, you know, this is Funimations. And there are some companies out there that are just like this. Now, there's a company out there called Arrow. And Arrow is a decent company out there. They've done a bunch of basically restorations out there, some good ones, some bad ones on there. There's one that's very interested that's coming out, and it's coming out somewhere, I think, toward Christmas. And let me tell you something, I grew up with this genre. You know, Saturday morning, or actually Saturday afternoon after the Saturday morning cartoons, used to get the Hong Kong Kung Fu flicks on Channel 5 here, the Fox affiliate in New York. And, you know, you get all these type of films, especially a lot of the Shaw Brothers stuff. And what Arrow's going to be doing is that they've contracted with Shaw Brothers, and they've gotten the rights to, I mean, pretty much their extensive library, and they're going to be putting out, I guess, volume to volume, depending on how the first volume does, of some of the best of their works, and restore it, and, you know, bring it back out again. It's supposed to be they're doing a new, on some of them, a new English dub, which that would be nice, you know, on a couple of the movies themselves, because there are some out there. There's some great martial art flicks, but the English dub is horrendous. It is just like horrendous dubs on there. And what we're getting is the inaugural collection, Shaw Scope Volume 1. Like I said, it's going to be out sometime at the end of the year. It is a 8-disc set, and it brings out some of the best. I mean, the ones they chose to begin this is some of the best martial art films that, you know, in history. And basically, you get classics like King Boxer, which is, if you're a big fan, you know that is the Five Fingers of Death. The Boxer from Shangtung, or the Five Shaolin Masters, and its prequel Shaolin Temple. The the monster one, the Mighty Pecan Man. I can't believe they threw Mighty Pecan Man in this set. I mean, it is such a crazy movie, but yeah, hey, listen, it is a Shaw Brothers classic in there. Also, Challenge of the Masters, Executors for the Shaolin, the Chinatown Kid. I don't know whether people are putting the 5 Deadly Venoms as the 5 Venoms. It's the 5 Deadly Venoms. That's also, which is the iconic martial arts films. I think anyone who loves martial arts films has this in this collection. I have the last DVD, I think it was DVD or Blu-ray that came out from this, that they restored it a better quality, which it is a better quality. I don't know how much more, because I know this whole set's supposed to be a 2K release on this one. And also the Cripple Avengers, which is another great one. You know, they call it from the Venom cast. And the Master of Heroes of the East, and of course one of my favorites, which my wife would say, Dirty Ho? What is that? And, you know, I had to explain to her what Dirty Ho is. It has nothing to do with what she thought it was. But it is a fantastic movie, directed by some of the best directors like Zhang Chang and Chang Che, which is like, you know, some of the great directors of the Hong Kong martial arts scene. I mean, this is some stuff. I mean, the stuff that's going to be in here, it's like I said, it's going to be a 2K release, and it is being done by Arrow. They're using the original negatives of King Boxer, Challenge of the Masters, 5 Venoms, Cripple Avengers, and Dirty Ho. So they're going back to the original masters on most of these, and creating a much better digital master for it, so they'll be able to transfer it onto a Blu-ray. And there's supposed to be a longer international cut of the Chinatown Kid, which that has been always, people have been saying, when it comes to the Chinatown Kid, always get the international copy. If you have a region-free player, buy the international one, because basically it's a much longer movie and they say the scenes are the scenes that are cut out were fantastic on there. And it's going to be in Mandarin, Cantonese, and English, but they're supposed to be doing a new English mono audio. I'm surprised it's not in stereo, but of course, sometimes you don't pay for everything. Like I said, a good restoration depends on how much money you spend on it, and you do it right. The more money you pop into it, the better. Hopefully it will be a better copy. And then there's a lot of bonus features, including new commentaries, critic appreciation, selected films, new and archive interviews, cast, crew, alternate credit sequences, which that is fantastic on there. Because one thing most people don't realize, and this goes from when I used to work in the duplication and editing end of the back in the VHS days, long before DVD, and a lot of these movies, the company I used to work with worked with a company called Saturn Productions. Saturn Productions had some of the rights to some of the biggest martial art films also. I don't recall a lot of Shaw Brothers in there. I know there was a lot of Jackie Chan films in there, Golden Harvest, a couple of other companies that were in there. And the thing about it is, sometimes we had two masters of the same movie with different titles. Figure that one out on there. But no, this is what the company wanted. A lot of the American companies, they may change the title of a film, or even the original company may change the title of the film to promote it in other countries. And we see this with other films as well. I mean, there are many Italian films, there are many French films. You go out that basically, even some of the British and American films that, you send them overseas and you change the titles. I've seen a lot of Christopher Lee movies, very low budget Christopher Lee movies, horror films that he did that we also had. Was it under Saturn? I think it was under Saturn also, that they changed the name of the title of the film on there. And that's that joke, if you ever seen Grindhouse in Death Proof, which basically the movie was called Death Proof, but you had a different title for 0.2 of a second. That was for real. That was really for real. That actually happened. And supposedly there's also image galleries, and there's a 60 page book that has new writings by David Desser, Simon Abrams, and Terrence J. Brady. There's a lot in here. There's film trivia, soundtrack info, new artwork for the covers themselves for each of the films. Now, like I said, it's an 8-disc set. There is a price out there if you're looking on Amazon for pre-order. The pre-orders haven't started in the United States. It has started overseas. Now, you could order the box set from Zavi, Amazon overseas, HMV, and Arrow's website. Oh, yeah, the date is supposed to be December 6th. The price we're seeing is $149 in the UK. That's about equivalent to almost $180, $200 around, in that range, depending on the price of exchange at the time. But eight video set for $200. I might, I didn't spend the full price on the Godzilla Showa set. I got it for a very good, for under $90. I wasn't going to spend I think it was $130, $140 for that. I may wait for the price to come down a bit. I know I've heard pre-orders are down to 110 UK in euros. So basically, Arrow's probably going to be offering pre-orders at a lower price point. But still, I would wait for it. But a lot of people I've seen online, and some YouTubers have put up videos that, it's overpriced for what it is. That, Arrow charges a lot of money for the product that they're selling on there. I have to say no. Really, yeah, I won't pay. I admit I won't pay the high price. I'll wait for it on sale or something of that nature. But when you're touting a price that one, you have to also understand that they have to pay people to remaster it. First, the rights to that costs money. These days, a lot of companies are not letting go their movies at a decent price, and so, a lot of the public domain martial art films are being removed from public domain by the companies and restoring it back, because basically they're doing a restoration. But the thing about it is, overall, and I've done this myself, and it's very difficult. And let me tell you something. With a great program like DaVinci Resolve, which if you want for you editors out there and YouTubers, if you're looking for a very budget editing program with a lot of power, DaVinci Resolve is one of the best. I would have to say it overtakes Adobe and also Final Cut, because the program itself, it's multiple programs within itself. And the color grading itself, the color shading is top notch. It's really top notch. But when you're doing a video, like we've done some runs on the Rabbit T Rabbit show, where we try to change the grading on there, and the shading and stuff like that. For a video that is about 20 years old, it's very difficult. Audio is a little bit more easy for me. It's a little bit more easier to adjust on there, because it's and when it comes to the video, that is frame to frame, and that takes a lot of time. There's some great videos out there, the people who do the Criterion stuff, and I have friends in the business that does restorations. In fact, they do restorations on movie trailers of movies that are being classics that are being re-released at the art houses, and also on Blu-ray and the Criterion collection. And they tell me it's frame to frame, you got to get everything right, and it takes time. It takes time. It takes money. It's not something, you're spending hours to restore. Star Trek the Motion Picture is getting that 4K release. It's going to take, on the director's cut, it's going to take 6 to 8 months of restoration. 6 to 8 months. That's if they stay on target. It could take longer. This is not something that can be done overnight. It's very difficult. I think one of the restorations on the Rabbit T. Rabbit one took us 2 months just to get it to the point, and it still wasn't a great looking video. It still wasn't. It was still a lot more work, but we didn't have the time and we didn't have the money. That's the thing. It's always. So when you look at a company like Arrow and they say, well, they're charging too much for this video, it might be just right for itself. And other people says, physical media is dying out. I've heard that before. Guess what? They said cassettes are dead. They said vinyl is dead. They're back. Vinyl and cassettes are back in the business again. Companies are doing business with record companies, independent producers and stuff like that. There are record stores popping back up again. Right here in New York, we have a couple places where business is flowing. These are record stores that have still been around, that didn't die out. Tower Records is still in business, not in store level, online. A couple other companies that died at the store level have moved on to online. They're still in business and they're still selling product. And you may say, well, they got the old collection. No. There are masters being reprinted. There are stuff being reprinted, and there's some new stuff that's being printed on cassette, especially overseas. Overseas, a lot of the what they used to call the single song cassettes has been doing very well. If you remember that, it's like if you're familiar with the 45s, which they put 1 or 2 songs on one disc. Cassettes, they did the same thing too. You used to spend about $2, $3 for one song. Say it'll be a Madonna song. It'll be one song on one end, maybe an extended version of that same song on the back, or basically a different song that may have not been as popular. They'll try to promote. But like I said, and I always tell people, buy physical media, because a lot of times when you're downloading from Amazon or all these companies on there, you don't own it. It'll disappear. If the company wants to remove the rights from, say, like Amazon, they can do it. They have the right to do it. And the movie you purchased out, and you may buy it on Amazon today, and say that movie, the company decides to come back and they want the rights back to it, take away the rights that the company bought for it, and say nope, we want to sell it off to, say, Peacock. They'll take the video away from your video file. They're able to do that. So we'll wait till December, see how this looks, and knowing Arrow, it's going to look really good. It's going to look very good on there. So we'll expect that from Arrow for around Christmas time. And if my wife is hearing, honey, Shaw Brothers box set for Christmas, maybe? Please? Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, share this video, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye now.